Here are 20 questions about dot science and its answers. Number 1, what is the scientific method?
The scientific method is an empirical method for acquiring knowledge that has characterized the development of science since at least the 17th century. The scientific method involves careful observation coupled with rigorous skepticism, because cognitive assumptions can distort the interpretation of the observation.
Number 2, what is the importance of a control group in an experiment?
The control group is important because it acts as a benchmark to compare the results of the experiment to. The experimental group is the group that the scientist is testing. The experimental group experiences a change to a variable or the conditions allowed to change in the experiment.
Number 3, how do scientists classify living organisms?
Scientists classify living things at 8 different levels: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Besides domains, the largest groupings are called kingdoms, and there are 5 kingdoms into which living things fit: Monera, protist, fungi, plant, animal.
Number 4, what are the states of matter?
In physics, a state of matter is one of the distinct forms in which matter can exist. 4 states of matter are observable in everyday life: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma.
5. What is the difference between a theory and a hypothesis?
A hypothesis is an assumption made before any research has been done. It is formed so that it can be tested to see if it might be true. A theory is a principle formed to explain the things already shown in data.
6. What is a chemical reaction?
A chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances, the reactants, are converted to one or more different substances. The products, substances, are either chemical elements or compounds. A chemical reaction rearranges the constituent atoms of the reactants to create different substances as products.
7. How does energy flow in an ecosystem?
Energy flows through an ecosystem in a one-way stream, from primary producers to various consumers. A food chain is a series of steps in which organisms transfer energy by eating and being eaten.
8. What are the main types of energy?
The 2 main types of energy are kinetic energy, energy due to motion, and potential energy, stored energy. There are 10 types of energy: chemical energy, mechanical energy, nuclear energy, gravitational energy, light energy, radiant energy, sound energy, motion energy, thermal energy, and electrical energy.
9. What is a renewable energy source?
Renewable energy is energy derived from natural sources that are replenished at a higher rate than they are consumed. Sunlight and wind, for example, are such sources that are constantly being replenished. Renewable energy sources are plentiful and all around us.
10. How does the water cycle work?
The water cycle shows the continuous movement of water within the Earth and atmosphere. It is a complex system that includes many different processes. Liquid water evaporates into water vapor, condenses to form clouds, and precipitates back to Earth in the form of rain and snow.
11. What is Newton's first law of motion?
Newton's first law, the law of inertia. Newton's first law states that if a body is at rest or moving at a constant speed in a straight line, it will remain at rest or keep moving in a straight line at constant speed unless it is acted upon by a force.
12. What is the speed of light? Thirteen. How does gravity affect objects on Earth?
On Earth, gravity pulls all objects downward toward the center of the planet. According to Sir Isaac Newton's universal law of gravitation, the gravitational attraction between 2 bodies is stronger when the masses of the objects are greater and closer together.
14. What is the law of conservation of energy?
The law of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only converted from one form of energy to another. This means that a system always has the same amount of energy, unless it's added from the outside.
15. What is the difference between potential and kinetic energy?
The main difference between potential and kinetic energy is that one is the energy of what can be and one is the energy of what is. In other words, potential energy is stationary, with stored energy to be released. Kinetic energy is energy in motion, actively using energy for movement.
16. How do magnets work?
Magnets are objects that produce magnetic fields and attract metals like iron, nickel, and cobalt. The magnetic field's lines of force exit the magnet from its north pole and enter its south pole. Permanent or hard magnets create their own magnetic field all the time.
17. What is the difference between mass and weight?
Mass is a fundamental measurement of how much matter an object contains. Weight is a measurement of the gravitational force on an object.
18. What is the principle of relativity?
The principle of relativity, according to which the laws of physical phenomena should be the same, whether for an observer fixed or for an observer carried along in a uniform movement of translation, so that we have not and could not have any means of discerning whether or not we are carried along in such a motion.
19. How do sound waves travel through different mediums?
Sound is a type of energy made by vibrations. These vibrations create sound waves which move through mediums such as air, water, and wood. When an object vibrates, it causes movement in the particles of the medium. This movement is called sound waves, and it keeps going until the particles run out of energy.
20. What is the electromagnetic spectrum?
Electromagnetic spectrum, the entire distribution of electromagnetic radiation according to frequency or wavelength. Although all electromagnetic waves travel at the speed of light in a vacuum, they do so at a wide range of frequencies, wavelengths, and photon energies.